Good afternoon, everybody. It's Donnie B.GotDaBeats. You already know what time it is. We're here on Two Blue. Here with my brother Nicholas Baker. What's going on with you, Nick?
It's good, man. All is good. Happy to be here. Another Sunday. Feels good outside here in the Bay Area. You know what it is.
Okay. And then it's another glorious Sunday, and it feels Sunday, by the way. So we got to get back to that, next week, brother. But look, listen, we're gonna get right into it because we don't be faking or whatever. Today's guest, we got a very special guest today. Uh, this long introduction at the beginning of her name. Check this out. She's so accomplished, but I love it. Former IBF, three-time WBC, IFBA, ABF champion, Mayweather Promotions boxing, Bellator MMA fighter, Ava Knight. Woo! Say on that 2 times fast.
Bunch of commas, right?
Right. How you doing, sister?
I'm doing great. It's really good to be on the show.
Good. Thank you. It's great to have you.
We are happy to have you here. Excited to get into this interview, get to know more about you, and just chop it up some. The champ is here. So
Champ is here.
this is what it is. Listen, we do no shucking, we do no jiving. We get right to the takeoff. So our first question is always, who is Ava Knight?
Well, Ava Knight, that is me, and I would say that now things have changed. I'm a mother, I'm a woman, and I'm a warrior. There's lots of things that I've accomplished in life, and I've set my goals to be more than just an average person, and I've set them.
I love it. Mother, woman, and warrior.
You
Write that down. Take notes. Put your notepads out. I love it. So let's jump right in. Like, how did you get started in boxing?
I was kind of an accident. I was always just kind of a loner in school, didn't really do much, just got good grades, kept to myself, didn't have friends. And I actually had one friend tell me, "Hey, let's go to the gym." I'm like, "Okay." So I ended up going to a boxing gym with her, and it ended up just being my calling. And soon later, I found out that my father was a fighter. And he started coming into the gym with me, teaching me how to fight along with my 2 original coaches down there. And it just became something that I fell into. Like, I'm not really sure how people always say like they have a calling or they always wanted to do something. I just started in the gym and I just never stopped. That was just kind of it.
Hey, that's awesome. Because like, boxing ain't something that that's easy to just fall into. Because I've been to a boxing gym or 3, and definitely fell right back out the door.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten my ass whooped a lot. It's not the funnest thing to like you said, just jump into or think that you're just gonna be great at, because like I said, I've been beat up, I've had concussions, I've cried in the middle of sparring, I've not wanted to come back, but I always did. I always came back every next day.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I got a quick question. Did your friend join you on the perilous road, or I mean, did he or she go boxing or not?
She did for about a year, and she quit, and it was sad to see her go. But we still talk now. She took a whole different direction, and which she's happy with. But even the other guys in the gym, I started out with a girl that I went to school with, and 3 other guys, and out of everyone, I was the only one who made it. I was the only one who stuck to it and made sure that, like, hey, this is my passion, and I'm going to work as hard as I can for it, which was interesting for me because even my first coaches, I remember his name was Joe Rodriguez, Puerto Rican from the Bronx. He told me I'd never make it, and then he found out how bad I wanted it, and he knew. Then after that, he told me I was going to be a champion, and I became one.
Hey, that's what it is. I mean, like I said, I do believe that people have a calling, or people have certain things that are just like it's tied to them. You don't know why, what rhyme or reason it is, but like you said, you started with people that went in with you, and you were the sole survivor. You had people telling you can't do it, but you kept pushing. Like, I think that takes something more than that's like passion and like a calling to me. Because, like I said, I mean, it's training for boxing is unbelievable. Like, it's some of the best workouts and training you can get, like, of anything. But nope.
It ain't for everybody.
It ain't for everybody. Like, you know what I mean? So I commend you. Like, it's not a game.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, even for I trained Joe Jonas for a while on the road while he was doing a photo shoot, and that was the main idea that we did was boxing. We wanted him to look amazing, and he did. Like, if you look back at his Calvin Klein ad, I don't want to say I did that because he did all the work,
Yeah.
but I helped him get there, and mainly with all boxing.
Awesome.
That's dope. I'm not gonna look at his Calvin Klein ad. I'm gonna just tell you
Right.
I
You can take a peek at it. It looks good.
I can appreciate the work you put in for it. That is not what I will be flipping back to, just so you know. But
Yeah, I think it's felt another way, you know.
let's talk about it. What are some of the most challenging parts of being a boxer?
You know, at the very beginning, up to even now, I would say just being a woman and being a boxer. From the very get-go, like I said, my first coach thought I'd never make it. I don't know if it was because I was a girl, but I'm sure that had part to do with it, and it was a hard thing to get past even a lot of people. And I was born and raised in Chico, California, which is up there and you know, by the Bay Area, and I fought in the Bay Area a lot, and there's still within, I think it starts from Fresno all the way up to Northern California, and there weren't that many girls to fight in the amateurs. I fought the same girls 3 times. So it's just finding competition is another thing that's really hard. Even nowadays, we want to talk about girls who are really good, but how good was their competition at the time, and how far did they go to get it?
Wow.
And then coming up, you know, I had my coaches retire on me, my first ones, and they were great. I went to San Francisco after that, but ended up staying in Oakland and had my coach, Ben Batista, out there. And he got me a long ways. We won a lot of championships together. But even that was rough, sleeping in the gyms, because we didn't make money. I didn't make money even as a world champion. My first world championship fight was for $3,000.
Wow.
That was for an IBF world title. And, you know, that's the one that everyone wants.
Mm-hmm.
And then going down, fighting for the WBC, and always fighting in Mexico and fighting people in their hometowns. There was always something that a hill I had to climb and I had to get over, but I always did. I still to this day look back and happy with my accomplishments. But I feel like if I wasn't a woman, all those things wouldn't have been so hard.
Got it.
Hey,
What do you think? Go ahead.
Yeah, real quick question. And hopefully you can understand this question. I appreciate this question. I think it's a better word to put. Do you feel a sense of camaraderie with you know, other heroines in other sports like Naomi Osaka, Simone Biles, with all of the stuff that they've gone through in recent times with regard to mental health, with regard to just stress, pressure, the whole nine? Have you experienced anything along the lines of stuff that they've experienced? Do you think it's a similar kind of situation for you, or what are your
I think I would have to criticize it in a little bit of a way, but I have. I think any athlete in anything, or even any human being trying to live on this earth, has gone through stress in their life.
Right.
But the problem that I think is because I'm in a combat sport, I just don't get to stop because I'm stressed out. I can't stop in the middle of a round and be like, you know what, I'm just going to take it off. And if I do, it's not as gracious as it is for any other sport. If I just stop in the 3rd round and what do they call it, sitting on the stool and just saying I'm going to quit, I would be criticized for the rest. I might not even fight for the rest of my life. You know, like if you watch the documentary on Duran, when Duran did it against Sugar Ray Leonard, when he went back to Panama, he was scared for his life, you know, just for doing something like that. So I feel like in boxing, we don't get treated the same, or we're not on the same level as other people when it comes to just having stress, because boxing is supposed to be what takes us out of that, and it takes us away from everything in our life. I know we've had our little same issue in boxing with Ryan Garcia, and at the same time I'm thinking, you know, for a guy who called mental health one of his issues to call out of a fight, but then he's still talking shit about other fighters who are fighting when he should have been fighting, you know. Right. So in my head, I don't understand the whole excuse, right, because I was raised different, but I just know that, you know, tough times bring tough people, and that's just it. And if you can't get through it, I feel like then that's time for you to step back.
That's a great point, because like we've been having this conversation around it, and there's definitely people, I think, from different realms, including us, who think like, okay, it's on them to know what they need at the moment. But I think you bring up a hell of a point to say, like, as a fighter, like, I mean, what I thought about when you said sitting on the stool, like that last Canelo fight where he fought Billy Joe Saunders and Billy Joe didn't come back out. People ridiculed him for it, but his whole damn eye socket was broke.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I mean? But still, people were like, "Oh, you quit, like you a punk," and like that's crazy. Like it is, in that sport,
and that's not even mental health. That's literally, you could see that something was wrong with him.
Yeah,
and you still get criticized.
Yeah, his face looked different in that moment, but he still got criticized for not coming back out. And even I think when people found out what it was, it still didn't necessarily take away the but you didn't come back out piece.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a very interesting point, and I don't know in that sport like how it could be different, because like you said, in the middle of a match, you don't really get that opportunity to say. I mean, you have the opportunity, but it's not going to go well for you.
Right.
Yeah, it's a combat sport, and I think everybody looks at us as some of the toughest people in the world.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's room for us to have that inside of us, and I agree with that, but I do think at this point in people's lives that you need to know your risk of whether you're going to walk out the ring or not, which is different than mental health. But if something is stopping you from getting into the ring, maybe this wasn't good for you in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good point. Next question: how did training at Mayweather Gym impact you as a fighter?
Well, so, when I moved to Las Vegas, it was very interesting because I know Top Rank is one of the biggest promotions, and there's Mayweather's, there's Golden Boy. I actually walked into the gym and got kicked out because I was a woman, because it was and I don't know if it has to do with Top Rank specifically, or if it was just the coaches inside of the gym or the management at that time, but they made me leave. And I had more achievements than anyone in that ring, in the gym at that time, and any other male in that time. So I was like, what, forget it. Every time I walked into Mayweather's gym, I was welcomed. Nobody ever stopped me. They all wanted me to succeed. Even the first time I walked in, saw Floyd. Obviously he doesn't know who I am, but he was a very polite man. He said, "Hey, how you doing?" He tried to start some drama with the other girls in the gym, which is what he does. He's trying to pick out and see who's the toughest in the gym, but it felt like home. And every time I go to a gym here in Vegas, Mayweather's gym will always feel like home to me.
Nice.
That's awesome. That experience in Mayweather's gym is awesome. The Top Rank one, not so much. And it's kind of crazy. Like, what year was that, if I can ask? Do you remember?
I would say 6 years ago.
Got it.
So I know they have a girl on their roster now. They only have one, but she's allowed in the gym, and they have a few commentators that they have been in there. And I've even mentioned to them, I'm like, they never let me in the gym. I don't know what that had to do with, but it's interesting.
Is it shocking that still is a thing? Like, is that shocking to you, or in this like realm, it maybe it's not? Like
I think it was very shocking at that moment, especially, I hate to say it too, like that nobody walked out there with me. Like I left the gym, and even though I had my team and everyone there, I had to walk out alone. That bugged me. Yeah. But I don't know. I think I still expect something like this. I can't expect that everyone is going to welcome me everywhere, but I know that with my whole career, it's been that way. I haven't been accepted as just who I am to just walk into anything. I can't even get into a fight. They have fighters that have 6-7 fights, 7-0, are getting into fights for free, and I have to beg and plead, or I have to buy my own ticket, and I do. I mean, I buy my own ticket. I'd rather do that than sit there and be like, this is who I am. Because it gets tiresome. It gets tiresome for sure.
And y'all better put some respect on their name. Stop playing.
Yeah.
Seriously, bro.
Respect on it. Stop playing. All right. So, speaking of just accomplishments and things you've done, what are some of the most memorable moments from your career thus far?
I feel like winning every single one of my titles, to defeat the odds and go against people who are all rooting against you. Like, that's just the thing. And I remember winning my first title by knockout against an undefeated prospect in Mexico. And that was great. It was a knockout in the second round. I believe the second round. And then going back and winning 3 titles against probably one of the top pound for pound girls in Mexico altogether, and fighting in Mexico City, in her hometown, in her home Coliseum with all her people, and beating her and winning 2 WBC belts, which I didn't accept one because I had the IBF, and then defending my IBF. But I feel like other than that, walking into MMA too was one of my most cherished moments and feelings in my whole career too.
Nice.
Okay, real quick question. I gotta ask, the first knockout that you ever you ever knocked somebody out, what was that feeling like for you?
What's today? I actually want to say tomorrow will be the day that it happened. In 2008 was that first knockout in the first round. I got a call at 6 a.m. It woke me up. They said, "Do you want to fight? We lost a fighter." And I was like, "When?" They said, "Tonight." Wow. I hadn't trained in a week because I was sick. I called my coach. I'm like, "I want this fight." So we took it, and they flew us down to Calabasas. That afternoon, I weighed in, ate, and waited for that fight, and I knocked that girl out in the first minute of the first round. Wow. And I want to say I actually was scared. The moment she hit the ground, I was scared because I guess just thinking I'd never seen that before and I've never done that before, and I didn't know what to expect. And I'm like, I just hope she was okay. And I remember being so anxious and nervous. I walked out of the ring, walked back into the ring because they said I couldn't leave. And she got up, and I celebrated after that. It was a great moment.
That's awesome. That's definitely a story to always cherish and tell.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome. You talked about MMA and competing in MMA. So, like, what inspired you to compete in MMA, and was it difficult, kind of, to switch from boxing to MMA?
So I have my boyfriend does MMA, and my best friend is Jay Glazer, and he's the one who's always telling me, "Hey, you need to try this." Mm-hmm. And finally, he's like, "I'm gonna set you up. We're gonna get all the trainers for you." And we did. We got Randy Couture over here in Las Vegas and his team, Jay Haran, Jay Glazer, Jason, and then my boyfriend, Josh Montalvo, and they all grinded the crap out of me. And honestly, I would say that MMA training is way harder than boxing training. When it comes to sparring, it's a little different depending on who you're in there with, but it's so much harder in the fact that it's harder on your body. I don't know about mentally, because there's so many things you have to think about that you shouldn't be thinking about anything, really. So it becomes like kind of a mind game of what are you going to do. But I know the fighting for me felt easier than the training, for sure. And it doesn't feel like fighting in boxing. Okay. Boxing to me feels like if you obviously I've lost in MMA, and it doesn't feel that bad because I got choked out. And in my head, I've been boxing my whole life, and all I'm thinking is I didn't get my ass whooped. Like, I didn't get my head banged up. I didn't have bruises. I didn't have a headache or a migraine afterwards. I literally just passed out, and I was like, well, that sucks, on to the next one. Right. But training wise, I mean, I've gotten the injuries from training, and I think that's the big deal when it comes to it is injuries, because there's so many different things that can happen to you. You can get your leg kicked. I remember not being able to walk for a few days, or getting your arm twisted, or just things like that. Have just been really hard to transition to, but I actually really like MMA. I think it's very fun, and I hopefully get back in there next year or the year after, after I get a few boxing matches back in there too. But it's gonna be fun. I think the next few years of my life will be full of just as much as I can do in either or.
Awesome.
Dope. I love it. So speaking of training, we're gonna dive in a little more into you, like and knowing who you are. What are 5 songs on your playlist when you're training?
Yeah, I'm really bad with artists,
Okay.
but I can say I know. I would say Biggie Smalls.
Hmm.
I know it's a lot of oldies. I can't think of the name. It's Outstanding is one. I don't know the artist.
That's what
Uh,
Gap. Is that Gap Band?
yeah, it is.
Gap Band. Yep.
Uh, man, I couldn't say. I just have so much on my playlist. It's
Yeah.
mainly oldies,
Okay.
I would say. Nothing within the last 10 years for sure.
Not mad at
Well,
that.
I still got to ask the question, because I got, I'm the guy that does that kind of thing. So I got to ask you: do you believe in Donda or Certified Lover Boy? What are your thoughts on that? If you have a suggestion or thought on that,
I don't understand the question actually. Say that again.
it's Donda, which is Kanye West's album,
Oh, okay.
or Certified Lover Boy, which is Drake's album. Do
I
you
have
have
not. Okay, because I'm not really into the music nowadays. I went through Drake's with someone and I actually thought it was horrible. I hate to say it. I could the only one that I liked was the song with him and Rick Ross,
Mhm.
but I could not play any of those songs more than 30 seconds or even just play them again if I got through it. And I haven't heard Kanye West because I'm not a huge fan, but not of his new stuff. But, his old stuff is different. But yeah, so I guess they're both thrown both out.
They both got pushed. They both get thrown to the side.
the champ has spoken? We totally understand.
Yeah, that Drake
Right,
one was
right.
hard to get through. I would. What are your guys' opinion?
I'll let him say first.
Well, yeah, I thought it sounds like so. My wife made a good comment. She said Drake is like hip hop elevator music. So it's like it's the same tone, this pitch, this like sound, and it's like the same thing over and over. So it's like it just doesn't go anywhere. So I understand. Like we rode to it one day, and it was just like we were having conversations over top of it, and like talking about, you know what I mean. So it wasn't intriguing. It didn't pull us in. So I
Mm-hmm.
think we had the same reaction. We only let it play. We didn't skip songs because we were on a long drive. So we let it live, but it definitely was background music. I think Drake is a good artist. I don't want to take that
I
away.
agree.
I just think he does. He's more playing to his formula now. Like I know what I can do to get, you know, I can sell records in my sleep now, and I think he's taking advantage of it. So that was my thoughts.
My thoughts is we as Baker said, we've had this on the show previously, and my thought is I liken it to people who cook with microwaves like the Drake album, people who cook in ovens like Kanye West album. You know what I mean? And it's just like it's a distinct difference of preference and style. Like you said, both of them are very, very talented at what they do. I honestly don't think that there's much to by way of comparison other than the number of sales creatively. But that is what that is. But I would prefer. My preference is Donda. I love Donda. I think it's art. I think Drake's album is Drake's album, and that's not a diss. Because to me it's good, but it's, as Jay-Z has said before, it's limited, and that's just how I feel about it. So
Okay.
And there you have it. I think we all tossing away that album.
Yeah.
So the next question is Ava Knight in the ring versus Ava Knight out of the ring. What's the difference?
Yeah, I'm definitely two-faced, and I guess that's my differential is the ring against the real world. I feel like I'm really soft in the outside world,
Okay.
and not even in the ring. It's even in the gym. I'm real hard, but outside I like to cook. I like to garden. now since I had my baby, I just find myself all full of love, which has been weird. It's been a weird experience. It's I would say I'm just totally opposite. And then when I get into the gym, I like to talk crap to people and mess with people, beat them up if I can. I think even most of the friends that I've ever had that come from the boxing gym all started because I was talking crap to them. And they started talking crap back. And that's how it became a beautiful friendship. But yeah, when everything happens in the gym or in the ring, it all shuts off. Every part of me that is me on the street is gone.
Mm. So are you that friend that, like, if you playing Jenga, like, you got to talk crap like everybody in the room, or like
yeah. Definitely. I still bring it into my world. If anything is competitive, you might get gym Ava, but most of the time it's just me minding my business, hanging out with doing girly stuff.
No, I ain't messing around with gym Ava. You play Jenga and then catch the hand. You got
like, whoa.
Wrong sport. Wait a minute. Cool. So our next one coming up is hypothetically speaking. This question is for you. If you could make a dream match for yourself, who would you face?
A lot of people won't know her name, but when I first turned pro, her name was Regina Halmich, and she was Germany's top boxer at the time. And honestly, I know a lot of people are talking about this last year with Logan Paul and the highest paid woman that they have, probably in the United States. But Regina Halmich was the first woman to make $1 million on a fight. Not that is even why I wanted to fight her, but when I saw her and I turned pro, I said, I want to fight her. I just need a few fights. And then she retired, which sucked for me, but she was really a great fighter, and in Germany loved her. She got paid well. And this is just a time where women were even women now are having a hard time, but women then had a hard time. But in other countries, they're heroes, just like in Mexico. That's why I went to Mexico a lot. Even though I'm not Mexican, I was never their hero. But I got to go against their heroes.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Awesome. What do you think? Like, if you would have been able to have that fight, like, what do you think you would have pulled from it? Like, I think about when Canelo fought Mayweather. I think that made Canelo a better fighter. Like, he had to get that fight out for him to become, I think, what he is maybe today. What do you think you would have pulled from that fight?
At the time, I thought she was the best female fighter out there. I don't know if still to this day I would have to look back at her tapes and see if anyone is still better than her. I do feel like now at the time and the place where I'm at, I am better I thought I was better than her then. That's why I wanted to fight her. But I think that it would have just gave me maybe everything that I needed. You know how everyone has a thing with their careers is the reason why they do it. And maybe if they can prove that, then they can stop. Maybe in my head, now that I've gone this far along, if I would have beat her then a long time ago, I might not have needed to do any more fighting. I might have proved to myself that I was better than I ever thought I could be. So I feel like that in a sense, because technically wise, she was a great fighter, and it probably would have made me better than anyone here today. And I still feel like there aren't a lot of fighters today, female fighters today, that are better than me, boxing wise, smarts in the ring, and just having the experience. So yeah, it could be the same Canelo Floyd situation, that it could have just brought me to a whole different level.
Oh, got it. All right, so you talked about this previously a little bit. Definitely congratulations on becoming a mother and having your baby girl. How has becoming a mother impacted you?
It's so fresh. I'm only 6 weeks out that it's new, but it's brought so much more appreciation to just life in itself. Like, I guess as a man, you guys will never understand the whole process giving life to something and pushing something out of you. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is the reason for me to live, and not that there's a reason for me not to live, but like there's just so much more to want to have passion in life, because now this little girl gets to go through everything, or almost everything that I went through, you know, obviously not with the same sport or anything, but in life. And I just want to give her everything and more. And I think it's brought a soft side to me, but when it comes to fighting, it's made me feel invincible. Going 9 months of hell and torture to just pushing this thing out, which is horrible experience also. But you know, one of the most beautiful things is seeing her and appreciating that if I can have this little child, I can beat up anyone in the ring. Like no one can stop me. And even if I get my ass whooped, it still won't be worse. So I sort of feel invincible, like in a sense of being a mother and being a fighter and just coming into this world with that idea.
All right, y'all heard that out there, man. Listen, female fighters, y'all better beware, because Ava coming in the ring with her hands on everybody. She like, I'm invincible now. So whoever the first opponent is, I feel for you.
Do you have like a thought, any thoughts in your head as far as you know? I know, like you say, you're 6 weeks out. Would you let your child box in the future? Because you know there's some parents that's like, you know, nah, I don't want them to get hurt. The whole nine. Are you that parent?
No, 100%. If she wanted to fight, I would love her to. I would love to see her go through the same. If not, if it's probably going to be better by the time she's older. But to go through the same hardships and find out life's not easy, you know, and I want that for her. But if she doesn't want to do it, I'm not going to force her. Until she's about like 8 years old, she's going to get forced to learn how to protect herself, because I feel like that's really important, and it brings good structure into kids' lives, you know, and having something like a combat sport. But yeah, I mean, if she wants to fight, she can fight. I think I'll be right there with her. I might be her worst critic though, just like my dad is to me.
Would you? That's a great question. Like, would you? You said like having her be able to go through some of those things that you've seen. Like, would you want to protect her for some of the lumps and the bumps that you took, or do you think it's important that she would go through those in the boxing game?
I think it's very important for her to go through it. And if I were to help her, it wouldn't be instantly. It would be later on, because I think everyone needs to know what, like, the emotions that I went through in boxing happened to me in real life. You know, the letdown, the sadness, the wanting to give up, like all those things translate into just a better person, I believe, in that she needs to go through all those things.
Got it. Cool.
Totally understood.
All right. Well, we about to jump into one of our segments, one of our favorite segments here on Two Flu West. We call it Two Flu Top 22. So in this segment, I am going to ask you 11 different topics.
Okay.
And let me just pull up my questions really quick to make sure I got them. And the tagline is, what are your top two blank? So I may say, like, what are your top two seasons? And you may say spring and fall. But the trick to this is you got 2 minutes to finish it. I think you can do it.
Am I supposed to finish all of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. You got to get to the end. You got to knock this out. Absolutely. All right. Are you ready, Donnie? You got a timer ready?
I got a timer ready. I don't have the graphic up.
All right. Donnie got the timer. Here we go. What are your top two restaurants?
Capos and oh man, I know. I go places all the time. Gordon Ramsay's.
All right. Funny movies.
Funny movies. I'm more of a horror person.
Okay, scary movies.
Horror
Scary
movies, Hellraiser and Wishmaster.
Love it. Sports.
Sports, boxing and wrestling.
Sneaker brands.
Nike and Adidas.
Holidays.
Thanksgiving and New Year's.
Cereals.
Mini wheats and honey bunches of oats.
1 minute.
Vacation destinations.
I would say Cabo San Lucas and where else have I been? I want to go to Costa Rica.
Okay. Board games.
Sorry and Monopoly.
Ways to relax.
Sleeping and watching TV.
Nice. Animals.
30 seconds.
Dogs and wolves.
Movie quotes.
If he dies, he dies.
Yeah.
Rocky. And I don't think I know another movie quote. I don't even know the last movie I watched. Can I skip?
You can do another Rocky quote.
I can't think of one. Oh, you're a bum, Adrian. You're a bum. How about that?
She said, Rocky, you can't win. Cool. That was it. You made it through.
You made it.
Oh, nice. Okay.
That was it. Top 22. You knocked it out just like you thought you would. Cool. So we have another way that we try to get to know you and like, just see what you think about these things. So I'm going to throw out some words and I want you to tell me what those words mean to you. Okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go. First word is family.
So I just did another word, right?
Yeah, it can be one word, it can be two words, just word association. What does it mean to you? Family.
A group of like love and support.
Champion.
Hard work and dedication.
Fighter.
A warrior and whatever the word is for, but to never give up.
Never give up. Happiness.
I think it's just a feeling of fulfillment.
Defeat.
Knowing you could do better.
And success.
That's a tough one. I feel like success is one of those words that everybody thinks they have it, but when they catch it, they always want more. So technically, I don't know if success can ever be caught. So then I guess that's my meaning.
I love that. Nah, that's real.
And the word for never giving up will be relentless.
Okay.
I love it.
Thank you.
That's
yeah, I know. I was like, there's got to be a word for that. I just.
That's a great thought, though. Success is like something that people are always chasing. That's real talk.
I listened to this psychology podcast, and they were talking about how when people have such high goals and they reach them, if they stay at that point, they get depressed. So they just keep making higher goals. So then in my head, I'm thinking that there's really no end to success, and success isn't a real thing. It's just what we call, he's successful in our eyes, but in his eyes, he might not be. So maybe it's like a third person word.
Yeah, no, that's real. I read a book called Atomic Habits. And one of the things he talked about was goals, like goals versus systems. And he said, goals is like this one thing that you're going after, and then you hit it, and it's kind of like, okay, I've reached it. Now what? And then you are looking for something else, and unless you hit it, you don't feel success, or you feel like I haven't hit it. He just talked about how systems can be small habits that you do all the time that you can feel successful in all the time.
Yeah.
And to switch your train of thought, because you'll still hit the goal, because goals are needed, but you're more invested in the system. And it makes me think of fall in love with the process.
Yeah. I was just thinking
that. Yeah. So, cool. This next one is called Two Flew, 2 Words of Wisdom. So, what is the best advice you could give to people using just 2 words?
Since you just gave me the word, relentless ability.
I love it. Relentless ability. Let that sink in, people. Like I told you, hopefully you got your pen and pad out and you writing these nuggets down. Relentless ability. Great. All right, so we're coming up towards the end of this. I've enjoyed the conversation, getting to know more about you. I mean, who you are. So one of the things we want to know is what's next for Ava Knight.
Right now, I'm getting back in the gym. I'm excited. I'm excited to have my little girl there with me, to be a good role model, to be a good woman, to be a good mother, to be a champion again. And on top of that is just to fight the best with boxing, fight the best fighters out there right now. I think I only have 4 years left, and I don't want to go out. I'm probably not going to win them all. I intend to win them all, but to go out there and fight the best girls out there right now, I think there's no better way to end this journey or the success I'm looking for. That is just to fight the best, not to be undefeated, but to go out there and do my best. And get back into the cage, get some more MMA fights, learn, and just be a better human being.
Dope, dope. I'm about to throw another question in there. I wanted to ask this before because you said it. You talked about liking wrestling. Who's your favorite wrestler?
Well, if we're talking WWE, back in the day it was The Undertaker.
I like it. I like it. That's the Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, it is. You're right. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
The Undertaker was the dead man.
Right.
He put people down. He reached the last
and Undertaker.
Cool. And our last one is just where can people find you online? It's been scrolling at the bottom, but let people know where they can find you online.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at Ava Knight. I've deleted most of all my social media. I try to stay off as much as I can and stay intact with the real world and the people around me. But I do get back to people the best I can on Instagram with the little I get on. But I'm out there. That's where you find me.
Dope. Well, listen, this has been super awesome. I really appreciate you hopping on with us and getting more, like, talking to us, getting to know more about you, your accomplishments and what's coming next. Again, congratulations on the birth of your baby girl.
Thank you.
I've been following you for a while. Like, I don't know. I told you, I think I wrote to you, like, I used to work with your sister.
Okay, yeah, I think I saw that, and I was gonna get back to it. Then I get feeds of more messages.
Yeah, no, she brought you up and was just beaming like how dope you were, and what you were doing. So that's when I first checked you out. So like, definitely continued success. Looking forward to seeing you back in the ring and doing what you do. Basically, this is your opportunity to say any last words if you want to, and then Donnie will take us out.
If I want to say anything to anyone, it's always chase your dreams. Don't get stuck in this 9-to-5 world, and always invest everything you have into who you are.
Dope. I love that shirt, by the way. Scooby Snacks. Get at
it. All right. Well, I guess it's me to walk it out. But listen, first of all, thank you for coming on the show. We definitely appreciate you. If I had to say, there's 3 words that I think that have struck me about you in this interview. It's the 3 words of peace, be still. And I think that the way you present yourself is also awesome because it's like, it seems like you're very cerebral, very tactical. And you're not like, you know what I mean? Like, I walk around and my stuff. You know what I mean? Like, no, you legit think about what you say what you think, and it is what it is. And I totally respect that. I appreciate that. I feel it lends to people to get an understanding of who you are and what you bring to the arena. You know what I mean? And I appreciate that. That's awesome. As he said, congratulations on your new addition. I've been there 3 times over.
Yeah.
I'm done. But I definitely appreciate it and totally understand your perspectives on it. And wish you nothing but the best. We at Two Flew West, I'm sure we look forward to whatever successes you have, both in life as well as in the arena. I definitely am going to be following you a lot. I was not hip. You know what I mean? But I'm definitely gonna be following it. I'm a whole new fan now, so I'll be like,
Yeah.
I know her. You know, so wish you nothing but continued success and congratulations on all of everything that you've accomplished up to date, and just wish you so much more success.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
No doubt, no doubt. So with that being said, again, like and subscribe Ava Knight on social media. Like and subscribe to Flew West. Make sure you like and support everything that both to Flew West as well as Ava Knight is doing. And stay tuned for what we got next. We always got dope people next lined up. And that is that. Without further ado, we're gonna let the planes fly. So everybody have a good evening, good weekend, and we are out. Peace.